Creativity is chaotic. You have all of these ideas, but knowing how to capture and organize them, but then turn them into something that's really worth sharing is the hard part. It's a big lift, but what if I told you that there were 3 simple tools that you could use today to transform your creative process into a reliable system for producing genius? It can be tailored to anything, and all it really comes down to is idea capture, organization, and refinement. Naturally, first things first, idea capture. There are many options that you have for this, but most of them today are full of distractions. They're digital, they're really convenient, but one of the drawbacks of them is there are so many apps and notifications that are just sucking your attention and draining your creativity. At best, they stifle your creative workflow at the best of times. You do, however, have one tried and true method available to you that you can take anywhere, costs basically no money, and it serves your creativity and your confidence at the same time. It's been a creative lifeline for me for a while now, and it is the Humble Notebook. Now, whether big or small, the one that I have is about the size of my hand, and it fits nicely in the pocket of my coat. So I do in fact take this everywhere with me. I find this key for 2 reasons. One, as I mentioned, so many digital options are just littered with notifications and other things that sap your attention. They distract you. They ruin your train of thought, which is the last thing that you want if you actually want to be creative and express yourself, an idea or whatever it is. With this, surprise, surprise, it's just you, a pen, and a piece of paper. There's none of those distractions. You also don't have to worry about setup or anything else for journaling, for bulleting, for list making, mind mapping, outlining. You can do whatever you want. And that is one of the things that I love the most about this. I don't got to worry about options or user experience. I am the user experience when it comes to this little thing. Unsurprisingly, this can be applied to books, videos, products, or any kind of project that you are working on. Any idea, anything that you want to express or create is, I think, best started with a humble piece of paper. If you don't know where to start, try this. You probably have a running list of things in your mind of what you want to express and why. Take those 2 headers and expand on those. Get clear on the what you want to express and go as far as you want, go as deep as you want on this. And then likewise with the why you want to express that. These are the headlines for the things that you want to express. Now take any one of those headlines, pick one to start with, whatever, don't care, give it its own page, and make a bullet list of the things that you would explain to make that minor point that builds up to the major thing that you want to express, whether it be part of that what or part of that why. This 3 layers of thought is what I see as key to really developing and fleshing out a complete idea, not only from the content creation, if that's what you're going for, piece by piece, but also that builds up to the major things so that you can build a brand that people rely on you for. Capturing ideas is one thing, whether it's mind mapping or outlining, but organizing them into something that's more reliable is a different challenge. It's a whole nother beast. The way you structure your ideas is directly related to the quality of your outputs. If you make a mess, your work will reflect that. Finding a solution for you that allows you to build, refine, and reference your ideas is the key to producing genius reliably. And this is where you use key software smartly. Now, I prefer to use Notion, but there are plenty of other things like OneNote, Google Keep, or pick your other management application. Personally, I prefer Notion. I try to use it as my own second brain as best as I can, at least in a way that makes sense to me. But it is a really adaptable software that fits all of my needs perfectly, whether it's books, projects, products, personal budgeting, whatever it is. I can make it. With Notion or a similar software, you really are limited to your creativity. It's really wonderful. Whichever one you choose though, just make sure that it gives you an environment to work well and gives you the tools to take full advantage of that environment. The best tool that you have is the one that you will actually use. Just make sure that it's a good one. More on that in a minute, but first, running a business is tough. Getting noticed is even tougher, but 1-star reviews, those sting the most and they can really make or break how people see your business. That's where Little House comes in. Together we'll help your business shine and stand out for what it really is. We'll build custom systems to make sure that you get more customers in and keep them happy. We'll encourage those glowing reviews that really help you stand out amongst the best. And we'll even turn some of those 1-star reviews into 5-star feedbacks. You and your business deserve to be seen as the stars that you are. So let's make sure that's what people see. If you're ready to start, then send me a message using the link in the description below. And either way, let's get back to the video. Now, you've got your ideas, you've organized your ideas, but how do you know that you actually have a good one? And how do you mitigate getting stuck with endless revisions? Maybe you already guessed where I'm going with this, but yes, it is in fact AI. It's a wonderful tool, in my opinion, that's best used as an aid to human production and creation, not as a replacement for it. Let me explain. I tend to use ChatGPT and Claude for idea generation, but also to dive deeper and help structure ideas whenever I'm feeling a little lost. I'll give it some input and I'll ask it to structure it, kind of give it the background of what I'm going for, and then just allow the machine to work. What I also do, and I tend to use Claude for this one, I'll make a concept of a thumbnail for a video, 1 or 2 concepts, and I'll upload both of those into Claude and say, give me feedback on this. How do I make this more tailored to my niche? How do I make this more applicable? How do I make this stand out? What do you think? And what I've found is Claude is really good at picking out the pros and cons, explaining how I can improve it, and giving me really quality feedback on images. It does really well with text, obviously, but I tend to use ChatGPT for text. I find that it's actually better tailored. It's more informative when it comes to text. For picture feedback, I really prefer Claude. For text feedback, I prefer ChatGPT. Whichever tool or tools you end up using, most of these are free or freemium. Again, use it ethically. It's best as an aid to your own creativity. It should not replace people. That's ideally, at least personally, not what I want. If you're not making the best use of the efficiencies that AI can afford to you now, you're missing out and you're putting yourself behind. I promise you that that's the point that we're at right now. Okay, so maybe you're not perfectly convinced just yet, but this is my notion, at least part of what I use it for. You can see I have other pages right here, and a lot of the stuff that I have built up is based on templates that I've done, so I can really systematize the things that I'm making. A lot of what I'm making right now is video content. Here you can see my content calendar. So here I'll go down to what I'm getting ready for tomorrow. The simple 3-step system for every creator should use. And this, like I said, is a template. I've added this little bit right here, but you can see a lot of this was generated. I gave ChatGPT the main points that I want to hit and as much as I could think of off the cuff. And I worked with ChatGPT to structure and better flesh out the idea. Of course, I'm presenting it all to you live. This is AI-assisted, content creation. This is what this looks like. This is what I'm talking about right here. So I'll scroll down here so that I can get to my examples that I wanted to give. Yep, right there. So right here, the example that I'm going to use right now is I'm working on a fiction book. Actually, I'm working on my first novel. It's called Dreamwalker, and basically, a dream-walking serial killer kind of really summed it up right there. It knows that I have the title Dreamwalker, but I'm going to ask, give me 3 alternate titles for a photo by Dreamwalking serial killer. Right now, I'm working with Dreamwalker. And you can see in real time, ish time, yep. All right, so it gave me the 3 suggestions. Right, so could you please explain why you chose those titles and what makes them catchy and fitting to the niche? So I asked for more information because I want to know why. I want more details, something that gives me some inspiration to work with. And here you can see it's spitting out really quickly. If you haven't used ChatGPT or something similar yet, I don't know what you've been doing, but maybe let this be your sign. So why I chose it, why ChatGPT chose it, why it's catchy. It gives me all the information. It answers everything in great detail. With a tool like Claude, you can ask for it to be more explanatory, more concise. You can create custom response styles. You can get really creative with this stuff, and a lot of it is free. It's amazing what these companies will just give away. Obviously, we're training the system, so there's a reason that this stuff is free. But of course, they have paid tiers too. Use what you want. I just find this to be the most useful stuff for me. And again, this is just on text. I prefer to use Claude for image-based stuff. ChatGPT gives good stuff. You can upload documents and images to this too. Use what you want. This is just what works for me. Anyway, back to me. So the system is idea capture, organization, and then refinement. And those tools that I use for those specifically are a physical notebook, software like Notion, for example, and some form of AI assistant. I cannot tell you how much time and stress this system and these tools have saved me, and how much better I have felt about, and how much better quality of stuff I've actually produced over the time. And I'm sure it's going to improve more and more, but that's my opinion. Let me know what you think about these tools, about these suggestions. How do you see yourself using them, and for what? What are you working on? Let me know in a comment down below. And since you've made it all the way here, you might like this video next. So maybe check that one out. Either way, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.